Hey, what's up, guys? John here. I think that San Francisco real estate's about to die. I think the entire city is about to look like a third world country. And I don't mean this to, be extreme. I'm underselling why I think this is going to happen. First and foremost, we've seen all the videos. We've seen the videos talking about how really theft is legal. You can go inside of a store, you can steal up to $950, and it's considered a misdemeanor. Cops won't charge you, cops won't arrest you. The only thing that can happen is a citizen can do a citizen's arrest. But good luck with that. We've seen all of the Walgreens and Targets getting ripped off in all these viral videos, even gangs of people going inside of stores like Neiman Marcus, busting out all of the glass, stealing all of the bags, and running throughout the exits. And cops are out front looking at it, and there's nothing that they can do. Now, we're seeing this, but what we're not seeing is what's happening behind the scenes, with rents falling by about 25%. Roughly 25,000 people have not paid rent. The city is pushing out these eviction moratoriums, and no one's really understanding the depth of the problem inside of San Francisco. And on top of that, the city's using taxpayer funds to fund $60,000 per single tent. That's how much they're charging taxpayers, $60,000 per tent for homeless. We're gonna see something massive happen in San Francisco. And in this video, I'm gonna break down exactly what it's gonna look like and why I think that 95% of the landlords are about to go belly up. Please smash that like button. When you do, YouTube's gonna share the content, and they're likely gonna share with other people interested in real estate investing. So hopefully we can save somebody from losing a ton of money by investing in California. Please smash that like button. Let's begin. When we have rents dropping by 20, 25% or more, given just on the first set of closures, right? I mean, Newsom's talking about doing another series of business closures. If that happens, rents are gonna fall even further. But this is a once in a lifetime opportunity for big tech to take advantage of this, because what they can do is they can start pulling their staff away from the cities, taking away a lot of the high income earners, a lot of that tax revenue, let the valuations fall, let the incomes fall. And then once the eviction moratoriums expire and all the pain really hits the street in California, then they can come back in with all their money and start buying up all these properties for pennies on the dollar. They're not going to start funding the rescue plan of San Francisco right now, because it doesn't benefit them to do so when they can work from home. Now look at how this works out. If you're a landlord, and let's say that you bought a property between 2014 and 2020, right before the set of first closures. Now the average rent was about $3,500. So let's say that they're all one bedrooms renting for about $3,500. This article here, San Francisco Gate, says that one of the other big players in the apartment listing space saw something quite different. March, Zumper saw a 0% change in March since February, with the median rent for a one-bedroom apartment remaining at $2,650 and a two-bedroom at $3,500. That puts San Francisco rents down 24.3% year over year for one bedrooms and 22.9% for two bedrooms. Okay, so let's say that you bought a building in 2015 and it's a 10-unit building, and each unit is renting for $3,500. So that's $35,000 per month in gross income. $35,000 per month times 12 months of the year is $420,000 per year in gross income. That is, you're not factoring in for mortgage costs, you're not factoring in for evictions or any real cost. So now with the NOI, which is the net operating income, you're going to factor in for your cost. So with a building like this, your cost might be 35%. So I simply just took $420,000 times 0.65 to give me the difference, which will give me $273,000 a year in net operating income. So $273 a year divided by 0.045. So 0.045 is the cap rate. The cap rate in San Francisco is essentially if you paid for the building cash, what the return would be on your capital. So 0.04%, that's pretty traditional. San Francisco cap rates are probably between like 4 and 5%. So that would give a valuation of the building about $6 million. That's how much it would be worth at that time. The required down payment for that deal at San Francisco, there's rent control. Lenders are gonna want more money down, probably about 40%. So that would put the down payment at about $2.4 million at a 40% down payment. Mortgage costs at a 4.5% loan, 4.5% interest rate, including property taxes at 1.25%. That's going to bring your cost to about $25,000, $25,723 per month. $25,000 per month. So you take that figure And that doesn't factor in for any legal costs or any evictions. It doesn't factor in for the 25% loss in rent and all the people now not paying. So let's just say 25,000 times 12 is $308,000 per year in just cost just to keep the building going. Now, the projected income when you purchase that building is roughly $273,000. So you're really losing $35,000 a year when you're buying this property in San Francisco. People will say, well, why would you buy a building if you're losing money? Well, the landlords are banking on rent increases, or they're banking on depreciation, they're banking on tax write-offs. They want to get their cash out of the bank, and they want to put it in an asset that's going to hold value, it's going to store value. No one expected the pandemic to come and really cripple the real estate market in California. So at the end, the landlord actually probably does make money with all the write-offs and everything that they're doing. But this is a fully stabilized asset. Generally, landlords will buy something where they can increase the rents, or there's some type of play there where they can increase. When you increase the rents, the value is going to follow and the landlord's going to make money. But this stabilized asset might be for a businessman or for a trust. They just bought it just to park some cash. So now let's factor in this 25% decrease in rents, and let's say you have two tenants not paying rent, which is probably traditional in San Francisco right now. That would then bring your $3,500 a month rent to $2,625. $2,625 times 8, because you have two not paying rent, is $21,000 per month. $21,000 a month, and that's $252,000 per year in gross income. And then 0.65, because you're going to take out 35% for the overall expense of the property. That's going to leave $163,000 in net operating income, which comes out to about $13,650 per month. So 163 times 0.045 gives a building valuation about $3.622 million. Now let's look at the landlord's cost to simply just hold the building now throughout the pandemic. The total monthly cost, $25,723 from above, from the initial statement here. The net operating income is $13,650. Monthly loss is about $12,000 a month. Now, if he were to sell, or she were to sell that property, not including agent fees or transfer taxes or anything like that, they would lose $2.4 million, their entire down payment. But that's also taken into consideration there's two vacant units, and the owner of this new property is going to likely probably pay a little bit more than that. But when we're looking at just this, the loss here, that loss of $12,000 a month, how many landlords can simply just stay put and take those types of losses for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years? Because this isn't guaranteed that all the money is going to flow back to San Francisco. It's going to be a massive loss, not just to the landlord, but to the city, because the city loses that valuation. If the landlord goes belly up, loses their property, the city is losing 1.25% of the property valuation. So essentially 30 grand. So that one building is losing $30,000 in taxable income that's going to fund the police departments, schools, street services, the Big Brother departments there. Everything that's going to support that city, they're losing. So when you lose $30,000 on just one building and you spread that out across the city, you're going to start to see that the infrastructure is going to fall apart. And now Newsom, he's talking about he wants to have the most strictest requirements, and he wants to really consider closing everything back down again. When you do that, what's going to happen to these rents? These rents are going to fall even further. And if they fall even further, landlords are going to get crushed. Now, Maxine Waters, she is now trying to push the eviction moratorium until December 31st. If they push out that eviction moratorium until December 31st, that essentially means that all of these landlords that have tenants that are not paying, they won't get their tenant out June or January 1st. No, it'll probably be a year after that, because there's going to be so much backlog and there's going to be so many hoops that these landlords are going to have to jump through to get the tenant out, because obviously Congress right now is not paying these California landlords. If you look at how much money has actually been dispersed to the landlords of California, it's almost zero. So they're setting up these landlords for something really big, especially through Gavin Newsom's SB 1079, which allows the state of California first right of refusal to go out there and buy up all these foreclosed properties. So the more that these landlords suffer, the more the state of California wins. So that's why I think that California, especially San Francisco, is going to go through a really, really big change. It's going to go through a massive change. A lot of people think that, everything's over and everything's going to go back to normal soon. No, state of California, San Francisco, we're going to see something big happen there. I wouldn't be surprised if we look at San Francisco in the next 3 years and we start seeing rents, 50% below what they are right now. And at that level, there's almost no landlord that's going to be able to hold on. And it's going to look like, just a modern, really a third world country. It's insane. Because San Francisco, most people would go to San Francisco and they would sit at the park and overlook the city and overlook these beautiful homes. Everything was so just nice, great restaurants, great events, venues. There's so many things to do in San Francisco, so many interesting and cool people. But now a lot of those people that have money are taking that money and they're going elsewhere. What I was expecting yesterday was that Congress was going to try to push out the national eviction moratorium last second. I wasn't saying it was definitely going to happen, but in the back of my head, I'm thinking, this could happen. I kept refreshing my browser on Google looking for an update so I could post an update on this channel, but it didn't pass. But what I think is going to happen is states like California, states like New York, they're going to be pushing their own moratoriums, and certain states are going to do better for landlords, certain states are going to do better for tenants, and we're going to see it all kind of unplay as it does over the next year or more. But California, New York, San Francisco, we're going to see the ultimate punishment for property owners and landlords. What do you think is likely going to happen in San Francisco over the next, say, 6 months or 12 months? I'm curious as to what you guys think. Drop your comments below. Please smash that like button and help share this video. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Also, you consider subscribing here. You can consider subscribing to my second channel. I'm going to go live on that channel tonight. I'm going to leave the links pinned down below in the top comment. I'll see you guys in the next video.